Hey everyone, Francesca Amato here. I am a multifaceted legal advocate. I have extensive background in the Americans with Disability Act as a forensic expert. I'm also credentialed as a human rights expert, and my team and I have a very extensive background in domestic violence and child abuse, as well as a variety of different credentials and certifications over the years. And we are constantly taking on new and cutting edge training to always be basically on the cutting edge to help you. My team, I have people within my team that have double master's degrees in education and government law, and just a variety of different things. Some have bachelor's and some just have extensive training with credentials. I also certify people with my training classes, and I own a nonprofit organization, but it is not a 501c3. It is a 501c4. So we don't get any government funding. It's nothing like that. And we do charge for our services. However, we also have a lot of volunteer work that we do. And over the years, and pretty much yearly, I do roughly about $270,000 a year in free work, which I am over my head with. Unlike an attorney or a certified bar member, they get paid for their work, and they do a certain amount of pro bono, which is nothing compared to what I do. And they get paid for their work, okay? But I just want to say I keep my rates very reasonable. I believe, affordable. Everybody does say so. And also, you are working with people that have credentials and certifications and degrees and years of experience and hands-on work experience. And one of the things that we pride ourselves in is our ethics, our moral values, and our integrity. So that is something that is really important. And I have an actual team of people. Okay, so we have a scheduling and billing coordinator, and we have a team of intake specialists. And no matter who goes through my team, when they start out with me with the intake specialist, they are just blown away because everybody feels a sense of hope, a sense of family. And then they all tell me the same thing, that they have hope again for their case. They're able to rise up again and continue to fight. You know, the system is just so diabolical, and we understand it from the inside out. I do this work nationally. And here's something else that I do. Unless a client really wants me to travel, I try to not travel. Now, I do have some clients that can afford travel, and so they'll let us travel, or me travel, or some of the team members travel, and we keep our like our housing and all that as reasonable as possible. Okay, we don't do anything extravagant. It's done reasonably. It's more costly, obviously, to do that because I have to change my whole entire schedule around to be traveling. There's traveling time and all that kind of stuff. There would be gas, and there would be tolls and mileage and all that kind of stuff. So as an ADA forensic expert, one of the things that I fought very hard for with the US DOJ, which they have enforced, and they put out a press release and they've enforced one of the things, which is web access to my clients. So they don't have to even physically go to court themselves. And since I am in one state and they're in another, they don't have to travel me out. And there's a huge savings with that financially, because you shouldn't be further traumatized with financial burdens on top of it. So I'm putting this out there because over the years, I do not align myself with the majority. As a matter of fact, I completely disaligned myself with what they were calling the family rights movement many years ago, because I've seen a lot of the people that just wanted public attention. It doesn't matter how small or large someone's platform is. That really doesn't matter. That doesn't make them have the integrity or the know-how to do what they should do, okay? They just wanted to kind of latch on so that they could get this kind of attention. All right. And then people will give very poor advice. And if you don't do a full intake and learn the case, it is ridiculous to give advice, no matter who you are. If you're a medical doctor, you don't just give advice. If you're if you're a school teacher and you're trying to teach somebody something, history or whatever, politics, and you just throw out some random advice, it's obviously more dangerous and it's more inappropriate than it would be to do a full intake, learn your case, learn your client's medical needs, whatever it may be that you're trying to accomplish, right? Now, because of the multifaceted background that we have, we work not just with family court cases and CPS cases. we work with law enforcement cases, criminal cases, educational cases, work-related employment cases. You know, our niche, so to speak, our specialties fit any of these areas. Also with service animals, we have, you know, we handle that as well. Vaccination issues, you know, we have a wide variety, but we have credentials again, and we have certifications, longevity, ethics, accountability, integrity, and morals that support everything that we do. So I just want you to know that's really important, and that's why I don't align myself, and you will see that I don't align myself with hardly any of these so-called advocates out there, because they're doing a lot of damage, and then I get their cases after a lot of times, and I have to undo a lot of damage that was done. And the way they represent people, and the way they represent themselves, or the way they have their clients represent themselves, could be very damaging, and you have to be able to handle it properly. Also, letting people know that we are completely separate and distinct roles from certified bar members. We are not trying to pretend that we're attorneys out there, okay? There is something called specialty attorney in fact, or that would be something to do with like a specialty, because generally what attorney means, or rather to be a lawyer, is that you are advocating for somebody. It's kind of an interchangeable word, but then there's also the Bar Association that you'd be attorneying or atoining for someone, which is not something that you want, okay? You don't want to be like you are incompetent, and then you have to have somebody who does everything for you. I like to have my clients either co-counsel with their attorneys or law firms, or have no attorney at all, go pro se, or sui juris, my little doggy, or have them either, like I said, co-counsel, or have their attorney be like second chair, so they can handle all the procedural issues. Many times I work with attorneys on different cases, like when it's like injury law and things like that. I work with them, and they're great. The ones in family court are bottom of the barrel. They're generally very, very corrupt, and so I have a lot of extra work to do when it comes to family court or CPS cases, obviously, to bring back integrity into the cases, you know, and all the nonsense with the false allegations and all the garbage that goes on there, and being able to decipher through it, and also uphold the integrity and the respect of your client, okay, and not to make sure that they don't harm their character or just anything that they like to do. They like to libel and slander people. They like to just harm people in various ways, and we don't allow that. We don't permit it. I'm able to use all the federal codifications under the Americans with Disability Act. I tailor a letter so that it suits their needs, their accommodations. A lot of times people will go around saying that they're an ADA advocate. They're not an ADA advocate. They don't know the first thing about being an ADA advocate, and they shouldn't be calling themselves an ADA advocate. What they are, if they're coming in as moral support, or if they're coming in, you know, as some kind of a support to the client, is like a service dog situation. Okay, they can come in, they can even sit alongside the client. Sometimes courts will make them sit behind it, which is completely ridiculous, because they can't tell if the client's in trauma, but they may not be trained in trauma to do that. They're just there kind of as moral support. So they would be considered what's called an ADA accommodation. They're not an ADA advocate, and they shouldn't go around saying that. They shouldn't go around saying a lot of things, because for the overall work that we're doing, that when there are many good people out there, it harms that work, because you're dealing with people that have bachelor's, or rather that have legal degrees and so on and so forth, and you should be able to come head to head, toe to toe with them like I do. Okay, I'm able to come head to head, toe to toe with these lawyers because I know the laws very, very well. I have extensive training and background, so I know the laws. I just choose not to be a certified bar member. I do not want to work for the Bar Association. I do not trust the Bar Association or what it's done in the field of the family court, in the venue, I should say, of the family court. So I get more done and more accomplished by not being a certified bar member, okay? But when I do have a decent lawyer and we work together, we win cases together, which is great. And they learn things from me that they can use to win cases for their future clients, okay? When you're working with somebody that does have respect and class and dignity and all that. But when you're working with the family court attorneys, you know, you've got to play their stupid game, because they're working for the court. They are in fact working for the court, okay? Another thing to look for is when you're retaining an advocate, for example, make sure you find out about their background, see how their process works, see how they handle themselves in court, ask other people. And something that I would feel to be very important is, are they spending like more than 30% of the time on social media? Okay, I don't have time to be doing this kind of stuff, because I'm actually working for my clients. And if I'm not in court, or in a specific case, or in mediation, or in some kind of a case, I'm drafting, or I've got my dogs to take care of, I've got my child to take care of, I've got my family, I've got my home, my laundry, other things that I'm generally doing throughout the day in between clients. So look for that too, because it shouldn't be that they're just a social media face all the time, because they're showing you that they're not working for their clients. So I hope that helps. You can get a consultation at book